Imagine looking at a world map. Instead of 7 continents scattered across vast oceans, seeing only a single gigantic landmass surrounded by an endless sea. What if there was only one continent? No separate Americas, Asia, Africa, or Europe. Just one immense supercontinent where all of human history, all cultures, and all empires unfolded on a single piece of land. It sounds like something out of a fever dream, right? But that's exactly what we're exploring today. An Earth with just one continent, shaping wars, journeys, and even the way we look at the horizon. Let's embark on this journey together, blending real history with a touch of imagination, to discover what it would be like to live in a world where there's no other side of the ocean to dream about. Let's start at the point where everything diverges. In our reality, the continents as we know them began forming millions of years ago, when Pangaea, that primal supercontinent, broke apart, giving rise to the tectonic plates that shape the current map. But what if that had never happened? Imagine if geological forces had kept Pangaea intact, or better yet, if a new supercontinent had formed and remained stable to this day. A single landmass, perhaps the size of all current continents combined, surrounded by a global ocean covering 70% of the planet. Colossal mountains would cut through the interior. Gigantic rivers would flow across endless plains, and the coastline would be a narrow strip around a world connected by solid ground. Can you picture it? I'm already excited just thinking about the possibilities this scenario opens up. So let's imagine how it would change everything we know. Think of humanity being born in this world. Without oceans separating populations, the first nomadic tribes would have spread like wildfire. Instead of isolated islands or distant lands like Australia or the Americas, all peoples would have been connected from the start. Perhaps the first civilizations, like the Sumerians or Egyptians, would have arisen closer to one another, exchanging ideas and technologies without natural barriers. There'd be no need for boats to cross seas, just caravans traversing desert or forests. I can't help but imagine Egyptian pyramids standing just a few kilometers from Mesopotamian ziggurats, or how cultures would mix faster, creating a human tapestry unlike anything we know. The mental map of antiquity would be one and the same, and the idea of exploring the unknown might not even exist, because the unknown would always be just a walk away. Now, let's fast forward to the Middle Ages. Without oceans to divide nations, empires would have grown brutally and continuously. Picture the Roman Empire expanding endlessly, swallowing lands that in our reality were separated by seas. Or imagine the Mongols, their horses galloping across infinite plains, conquering everything from one end of the supercontinent to the other. Wars would be more frequent because there'd be no natural barriers to stop armies, no English Channel or Mediterranean to halt invasions. But at the same time, trade would flow like never before. The Silk Road wouldn't be an exception, but the rule. Massive roads would crisscross the continent, carrying spices, silk, and ideas from one side to the other without interruption. Can you feel the chaos and grandeur of it? I can hardly wait to see how this evolves. We arrive at the age of exploration, or rather, the lack of it. Without oceans to sail, great explorers like Columbus or Magellan would never have existed. Instead, human curiosity would turn inward toward the heart of the continent. Perhaps expeditions would be sent to map the highest mountains or the deepest deserts. And if you're enjoying exploring this crazy idea with me, leave a like to help me keep imagining these incredible scenarios. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. The coastline, singular and narrow, would be a sacred, almost mythical place, the edge of the known world. Coastal peoples might develop myths about the infinite ocean, imagining monsters or lost lands, but without the means to cross it. The focus would remain on solid ground, shaping a mentality very different from ours. And what about the Industrial Revolution? Without separate continents to colonize, European powers would have turned their steam engines toward the heart of the supercontinent. Colossal railroads would cut through the interior, linking distant cities in weeks, not months. Coal and iron from the central mountains would fuel factories spread across the entire territory, and wars over resources would be even more intense. Picture armored trains crossing deserts, carrying entire armies to battles over mineral-rich lands. The sky would darken with factory smoke, and cities would sprawl like webs, connected by rails and stone roads. I can't help but imagine the constant noise of a world without pauses, where everything is within reach of a locomotive. Now, let's jump to the 20th century. Without oceans to isolate nations, World War I and II would have been even more devastating. A single front, with no islands to retreat to or seas to protect, would turn conflicts into endless infernos. Tanks and planes would traverse the continent from end to end, and alliances would be more fragile because everyone would be direct neighbors. But there'd also be a chance for unity. With everyone living so close, perhaps the idea of a global federation would have emerged earlier. Imagine a continental government trying to maintain peace in a world without natural borders. It's fascinating and terrifying at the same time, don't you think? And here comes the big twist. What if the ocean surrounding the supercontinent hid something? Suppose that in the 21st century, scientists discovered that the endless sea wasn't so empty after all. Maybe an underwater civilization, evolved in a completely different way from ours, would emerge from the depths. Beings adapted to pressure and darkness, with cities glowing beneath the waves, might make contact or challenge us. Suddenly, the supercontinent, which had always been the whole world to us, would become just half the story. The coastline, once a limit, would become a frontier of war or diplomacy, and humanity would have to rewrite everything it thought it knew about itself. Gives you chills, doesn't it? So how does this world end? Perhaps humanity unites with the ocean people, building bridges between land and sea, creating a hybrid civilization that blends the both worlds. Or maybe conflict destroys the supercontinent, breaking it into smaller pieces, ironically recreating the continents that never existed. Either way, living on a planet with just one continent would have shaped our history in a unique way, making us more connected, but also more vulnerable. And I want to know what you think. How do you imagine life in a world without oceans separating nations? Leave your answer in the comments, because I'm dying to see what you come up with.